Welcome to New Awakenings with Edgar Cayce A.R.E., where, with the help of some extraordinary conversations, we'll go on voyages of discovery, exploring everything from the incredible readings of Edgar Cayce to the metaphysical modalities being practiced today.
We are your hosts, Karen and Will, and we are thrilled to have you join us on these journeys of exploration and awakening. Today, we are honored and privileged to have none other than the CEO of the Edgar Cayce A.R.E. here to have a chat with us, Reverend Dr. Nicole Charles.
Hello, Mr. Rodriguez.
Ooh, she called me Mr.
I know, you got her snowed.
Makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. A lot to live up to. Dr. Charles, you have brought incredible amounts of change to the organization, and we're going to get that in a few minutes. But before we do that, let's just get to the basic topic of it. What exactly is the Edgar Cayce A.R.E.?
Edgar Cayce A.R.E. is an acronym for the Association for Research and Enlightenment. And, it sounds like this big name, but what it really means is that if you research your life, if you study it, if you look at it honestly, in a perspective of, I can't keep doing the same things over and over, you will become enlightened or aware. And so that is the researching my life so that I can do better and be better. And by doing that, I begin to get a closer draw to God, the divine creative forces, divine forces, whatever you choose to call it, that you become a better human being on earth so you can serve others.
I feel so called out.
Yeah, well, Well, before we get into the meat of the Edgar Cayce A.R.E., I want to know what drew you to this type of work?
I think what I know for a fact to me is that within what they call new thought or theologies of new thought, you're coming from some incredible writers of Emma Curtis Hopkins, the Fillmores, Ernest Holmes, and then you have Cayce, who took it, I would say, a few steps deeper because he did the readings. But he did readings not as what we know always as the fortune teller. He did it from a place of everything that I'm coming to you as has a spiritual component to it. And that beauty that I saw, that it resonated with me because that's all there is to me. And there is no separation. And the only thing that separates, or what we see as the bad in the world, is really the human condition not rising to the best of themselves and hurting each other.
So then, in a nutshell, this is a place to come in order to look into yourself and better yourself. You have all the resources you need in this one location.
I say we do.
I would second that, because we've actually spent a lot of time at the A.R.E. and it's become our second.
Oh.
So I want to make sure that we focus and put a spotlight on some of these amazing things and ways that you can help yourself to attain this awakening or closeness with the divine, or whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about some of the changes that you brought. You are bringing the A.R.E. into the future by instilling certain changes of thought, even to the point of doing renovations to the buildings themselves. What kind of changes have you put in place in the past year?
Before, and I want to be very clear, before any change can ever occur, you need to know where you came from, right? So the mission of the organization states, the purpose of the organization states, and that's Cayce's work and the upholding to bring forth profound change. That then now leads us into our program. So we have things such as, we had ancient mysteries, we have psychic development, we have what we call the legacy, and that stays in place. The changes are in addition to, we want to look at how do we support a newer generation. And so that's really been my cause, is how do we move us from what they know that the other generation that has been supported for years, but how do I speak to a younger generation, really looking at millennials and Generation X. And the reason being is because they're the ones now coming into their, where am I? Who am I? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And if we understand human development, there's always cycles that we fall under. And so my goal is to bring us into community programs that support today. We know that we have mental health issues due to this pandemic, post-pandemic world. And that post-pandemic world has brought in isolation, lack of community, high anxiety amongst many, but isolation. And so we wanted to improve programs that can support the whole person still in a holistic way, but to do it in a very different way that speaks to today's time. So some of the partnerships, I'm very proud to say, we've moved out from this closed up into really reaching out and meeting our neighbors, such as Norfolk State University, working with some of the faculty, helping us develop our dance and yoga studio called REM Yoga, which is a meditative word that kind of is part of the Cayce meditation stance of REM, and just instead of saying Om. So that's a beautiful partnership that we'll be coming into. We then have the Cayce A.R.E Center, which really is a deep delve into spiritual, emotional, and healing. And it's a deep dive, not just surface. It's more, why do I keep repeating the patterns of trauma? What do I need to let go of and why can't I? Why do I want these things but I can't be these things? And so this is, the A.R.E is almost a years-long program with various levels in it. And then we have the Cayce Institute of Culinary Medicine, Let Food Be Thy Medicine. And so this is really a practical approach in the alkaline way of eating and foods of today. We know that in some of Cayce's work, he talks about mutt and tallow. We're not probably focusing on that, but we're focusing more.
I was ready for it.
But if you study the readings, you'll find that it really does work. Like if you have congestion of the chest, you would put it on and it works. But we're looking at what people can afford today in incomes, as our older ones, kind of move to that. I need to save my money. How can we provide sources and services for them too?
Well, I think it's got to be hard balancing the legacy with the new. And I think you're doing a wonderful job at that. Part of bringing in the new membership, the new faces, is creating a new face physically here. And we're sitting in on this beautiful stage. You've redone this area. It looks gorgeous. I want to hear a little bit more about the rest of the campus. I've heard about the labyrinth. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, imagine a maze, and our lives are usually a maze. And we have problems and we keep hitting these walls and we can't get out. The labyrinth is kind of like your mind. You go in with some challenges, but there's always a way to get out, even if you hit these. So it's more of a contemplative walk around to come out to the other side. And some people, you'll notice they might walk fast and some go slow. But the thing is, it's your journey's walk, but just know that you will get out of this maze of life. So that's a place that a lot of people like to visit. If you're sitting at the maze, if you look up, we have an incredible restaurant known as Gray's Restaurant, local, seasonal, by a wonderful chef, Shelly, and her food is really good. We then have the spa, which holds all the Cayce remedies and the techniques, which is more of an osteopathic way of looking at things, but also with his own way of really dealing with the whole spirit, mind, body incorporated into the touch. So our teachers are trained, because we also have the Cayce A.R.E School of Massage, very proud to say, that a lot of our practitioners who work at the spa, they incorporate what they learn and then they move over. One of the things that we're talking about, some of the transformative change of the organization, is that spa, the goal is to move it to a clinic, which was Cayce's first purpose. This is to support our veterans. This is to support people with their insurance. And so it's in addition to the spa stays, we will still have our practitioners of massage, but we would like to bring in nutritionists, osteopaths, dietitians of a holistic grounding, and really expand our services to support more of the community. So that is something we're looking forward to. And like I stated, the teachings of the school really supports that. And we're trying to see how we can truly become more of our neighbors' keepers than just the people next door.
Well, you can keep me at the spa. I've heard that the training is some of the best in the country. I've never been to it before.
We really are the fourth in the country, so we're proud of that.
Yeah, you should be. You should be. And Karen will be hanging out at the spa. I will be hanging out at the restaurant, as you can tell.
Waiting for Karen. You can be there in one spot.
We'll compare notes after.
Right. One of my favorite places in the entire campus is the meditation garden. It is one of the most serene places, and yet not quiet, because you have a babbling brook. You have a beautiful bamboo, and it is stellar. Can anyone just come and go and meditate at this garden?
Anyone can come on our campus. We welcome all. Right now you're sitting, or we are sitting in the visitor center, and we welcome everyone to just come by here. It is not just for those who know, but for those who have questions. And so we give you the space in the gardens to relax and enjoy and to hear yourself, your own voice, but also to experience something that some of us aren't doing anymore, which is just, what is this thing called peace? And so we hope that we can bring that to our communities and just give them a little taste of peace. Our gardens are small, but they emanate such depth and grandness that people don't realize that you just need a little place to find home.
Oh, that's wonderful. You have so many wonderful things here. And I know there is a big draw, a worldwide draw that you have, which is your library. What is so special about the library here at the A.R.E.?
The A.R.E.'s library, proud to say, is the second largest in the world, second to the Vatican, of metaphysical and out-of-print spiritual books. So the plethora of metaphysics ranges from astrology to reincarnation, one's spiritual development. So a lot of the books we do have, some contemporary, but a lot of them is out of print, and beautiful ways to see how there's a continuum in life. Also here, the biggest draw is you are able to sit there and read the readings of Cayce. See the couch where the readings were done at. A lot of people just come in and literally go through the logs or the circulating files. And the circulating files is more of the subject matter where you would seek to find what do you specifically want, and then we have files specifically addressing those areas of interest.
And that's incredible. I've looked through those files before, and it's like there's diabetes, there's like any kind of malady, it seems like you can find a Cayce remedy for in those files. It's just incredible.
Correct. I mean, and that's the thing when people think about change, but just like Cayce's readings are of that time, we're still dealing with some of these health issues.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, yes, yesterday still speaks today, but it's finding how do we understand it? Because it is in a language that is of that time. It's not, sometimes you'll see the thee, the thou, but we'll call more of an older English than a contemporary. So we do sometimes, you'll find a split between some of the work, what we call the Edgar Cayce reading, ECR, and then you have the CCL, which is Cayce Contemporary Language, which is more of a flowing language of today.
That's like the translation.
Those are the ones I got.
Yeah.
But it really is. It is like the epitome of a rabbit hole. You go into that library and you can find yourself lost for hours looking at every imaginable type of metaphysical, spiritual, and even some to the paranormal side of things as well. I mean, you've got UFO stuff, and there's all kinds of things in there. It literally is an all-day affair for me every time I come. So I need to keep myself out there as much as possible.
We want you there.
It's a great resource. But that's endemic of what you are doing here. It is a place for everyone, to your point, but each person is called to a different thing.
Yes.
Some people might be called to the library. Some people might be called to the meditation garden. People might be called to the restaurant or the spa. Or you have an incredible bookstore that you have completely renovated here. That is another rabbit hole that I get trapped in all the time. What kind of things can you find there?
Oh, the bookstore, the gem. We sell the gems of crystals and gemstones, but you can also find the Cayce remedies of the bar products there, which is very beautiful, which is the original, is the only approved retailer that we utilize for the Cayce products, and which is really beautiful. Matter of fact, I got really sick, and one of the staff members bought one of the remedies to me. It was the tallow, and I was suffering with some severe respiratory infection, and I put it on, wrapped up. It's kind of like Vicks times 20, but it doesn't have that eucalyptus in. It has just a scent, but I would say that it really does help. Or a lot of us, as we get younger, our knees bother us. That ortho rub is the best thing, and I use it constantly. Whether it's sciatica pain or just that feeling of tightness you have, just rub it on. So there's a lot of things that are natural remedies and medicines that you feel empowered. It's not like it's going to give you that adverse effect because it's food. It's the food as medicine of the remedy product.
Right.
Well, every time I go, I buy a pendulum. He buys books.
No,
I
You
buy
can use your
pendulums.
pendulum in there to buy anything and just ask it, is this what I'm supposed to get at
I
this time?
know,
And
that's
watch what
good.
happens.
Well, at our
As-
rate, we can retire and have like a book and pendulum store.
as
Anytime
if
we're
she,
ready.
as if she need another excuse to get more pendulums.
I know, right?
Dr. Charles, thank you for that.
We're bringing in some more, so just keep coming. We'll find a new one.
All right. But the cool thing is that whether you are an avid metaphysician or brand new, just questioning things, there is everything for anyone here at whatever level you're at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that you are so open and so welcoming to all faiths, all ages, all kinds of people. And I think it's important to really focus on that because it's an incredible resource
Mhm.
that you have right here in Virginia Beach
Mhm.
that's accessible to everybody.
Everybody.
And
Because
there's-
it's not religion.
It's not,
It's not
yeah,
religion.
We're not talking about religion.
It's
We're
not
talking
really,
about,
it's spirituality. And it's
Right.
a big difference. I think if we look at what religion is, and this is what I state, religion is someone else's perspective. Spirituality is your own.
Mm.
And
I like that.
it's learning to look at what you need, not taking God out, not taking what your belief is, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Buddha, whether it's really finding your path, and your path is yours alone. It's your place with your relationship. But for me, it is no matter what this walk I walk, I'm not alone.
Right.
And we hope that the Edgar Cayce's A.R.E. supports people in their personal journey. It is a personal journey.
One of the things I like about it, when we talk about it being for everyone, you have so many events.
Mhm.
We were at a fair, it was like, what was it, like a month ago. We brought our daughter, she just turned 13, and she loves it. I mean, everyone is so happy and joyful and welcoming, and there's little things to buy, and you can get readings done. Those fairs are just incredible.
Yeah.
Mind, Body, Spirit
Yeah.
Fair.
They're so
Yes,
much
we
fun.
opened that. That's a huge event. It's vendors from all over the Hampton Roads area
Mhm.
come in, and they sell their gifts and their brands around. So it's like a big street fair, but it's under the A.R.E. and it's always within the little what we call the metaphysical realm. So from crystals to the same thing, some things that our store sells, but also you have some nice artisans who are just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And you also have guest speakers that
Yes.
can come in, and there are
Yeah.
incredible guest speakers in different areas of the building. You can experience a lot of things.
I had my eyes read.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could do that.
Iridology.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. Talking about that and learning about yourself and experiencing different modalities and things like that. Your events, and diving deeper into the events, your events, you bring in guest speakers all the time, not just the Mind, Body, Spirit expos, but you also have guest speakers that come and do lectures and practical
Yeah, conferences,
experiences.
trainings. Yeah.
Talk to us about some of the things that you are bringing here next.
Oh my
year.
goodness, I wish I had Zaire. We planned out 24. She's moving into 25 already.
Oh,
Wow.
That's incredible.
So we have from hypnotherapy, we have a full training that is an accredited training. And a lot of people, when they think of hypnotherapy, they think about the clock ticking or people clucking like a chicken. But the reality is we can also use hypnotherapy for ourselves.
Right.
It's behavior change, and it's just a form of behavior change. It's like to stop spinning the wheel and to actually get off and be like, oh, I did the run, now let me move into it. Let me really run in life,
Right.
So we have from hypnotherapy, psychic development, which is really something I always make a joke about. We act like we don't know, but we know. So like, I knew I should have married her, but I also knew I shouldn't have been with him. So there's all these things we sometimes don't even realize in life, what we do and patterns we hold. From crystals classes, a little summer class. In the summer, we have free programs from hula hooping to yoga right there on the labyrinth. And that's what we open up to the community.
Well,
And
'cause-
that is free. And
'cause
dancing.
Hula hooping
Dancing.
is a form of meditation,
It is.
right? When you get into that move, it's you go
Yeah.
into meditative
Yeah,
state.
I-
Absolutely.
It's also the
I am
laughter of the
horrible
community.
hula hooper.
Well, no, this is not for people who know. We have literally
Wow.
teachers, someone who just does this, and it's like kind of bringing joy to a community, building community, engaging with new people you didn't know. It's really more than just hula hooping.
Yeah.
It's really that whole circle is bringing the oneness under one
Right.
within the labyrinth of a circle, and we're standing around the circle, but we're building the oneness of all.
And that energy of joy is so powerful. When you're there and you're hula hooping, you're laughing because I suck at it, so it will fall down and people are laughing at me. But it's
No, with
raising
you.
the energy.
With you, laughing
well,
with you.
probably at me, but I'd be laughing
Yeah.
so technically with me. But I love that. I
Yeah.
just think that's
It's
so
beautiful.
fantastic.
Yeah. It just, again, I'm beating a dead horse, but just shows you what you said. It's community.
Mhm.
It's come and experience, be part of the community, be part of a community that is awakening, who is nurturing, who is supportive, and who is very diverse. This is the
Mhm.
best thing about it. You, no matter who you are welcome here. That
Yeah.
is,
Mhm.
and that is one of the things that you brought with you to the new Edgar Cayce. I applaud you on it.
So
Well-
thank you. I think I brought it, but I think it was always here because Casey talks about it in his oneness,
Yeah.
right? And just so it wasn't like it just basically everything has its ebb and flow,
Sure.
and we get used to things and we just kind of move in it because we're used to it, so it doesn't shift.
Mhm.
But there's going to be always a rumbling because life shakes up things.
Mm.
The earthquakes
Mhm.
is really sometimes our own, and so sometimes there was a rumbling, and then like there's now a new shift, and I'll have my time, and then there's another shift. And so the whole thing is just kind of moving. It's kind of like just walking through life a little bit, and that's kind of how I see the ARE. It's just like it's going through its next shift.
Mhm.
And then we settle in it, we get used to it, then we move into another shift. And I can do as much as I can do. Every leader has their time.
Mhm.
And, there'll be another ebb and flow because there'll be a new generation that it has to be spoken to.
To talk about divine timing, right?
Yeah.
Everything happens in the exact moment it's supposed to, and it feels like this is the right time for the right thing.
I think so. I think it's quite beautiful and delicious.
I love the shift and I love what you're doing. And one of the things that I was very privileged to experience was this past summer at One Mint.
Mm.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
glad
it
you
was
loved it.
amazing. What was the inspiration
beautiful.
behind that?
As a minister, my thing is to uplift community. And I wanted to bring a diverse body because I want people to see that it's all one.
Mhm.
I mean, I really stand in that, and even though our society doesn't always mirror that, I wanted to say we are one.
Mhm.
So these ministers still under the New Thought, what is called New Thought theology, which is like we had Bishop Carlton Pearson who just passed,
Mhm.
bless his soul, and Bishop Jack Bomar, and so many more. The thing was to have all these different schools of thought, but then when you got to hear it, everyone was lifting everyone up, and it was such a warm community that it brought people from so far. From Connecticut. We had somebody drive from Connecticut because they heard about it. It was amazing.
Mhm.
We had people from Delaware, and just the fact that people came from far was saying the need for people to be inspired,
Mhm.
and not from the typical religiosity,
Mhm.
but from I belong just because, you
It
know.
was the love.
There was a lot of
It was the
love there
love.
that day. It was warm. It was cute. We were playing and joking, and when I look back at it, the laughter that we saw in the audience or just the smiles. It was just something, and people are still talking about it like you are.
Absolutely. It was a powerful, powerful event.
Wait for the next one.
Oh,
Woo-hoo.
we can't
We'll
wait.
be there.
We can't wait. Yeah. But it's again, testament to what you're bringing to
Yeah.
to Edgar Cayce A.R.E. We talked about coming, experiencing the ARE for yourself, getting to know all the different facets of who you are
Mhm.
and who Edgar Cayce was, and all the things that the Edgar Cayce A.R.E. offers in this path to self-discovery. Someone can become more involved with the ARE once you come and you feel that you're home. What are some of the benefits of membership?
Some of the benefits is that you are a part of a community, a very international community. A lot of people don't know that
Mhm.
we are an international organization. And I think that today people are so hesitant of joining anything.
Mhm.
And so my thing is to say it's not so much as a membership, though it is, but really it's a way of expanding your community. So you'll get like serious discounts at the spa, discounts at the bookstore, a discount of becoming a member, that there's a membership price for our conferences and trainings that you pay much less on. A lot of people don't also know that we do international tours. We travel around the world. Just came back from Spain, Portugal, and France. The next one is Ireland that we're doing, that's upcoming. And then we always do Egypt every October, November. So there's this humongous thing of expanding your network, learning the travelers basically through the Cayce lens. So it's very metaphysical of his readings. But you're getting to see how another culture lives and how they breathe in the world and how they add that. And really what makes up our world, not what makes up this radius that you know.
That is wonderful. And I know we're kind of running low on time, but before we go, I just still want to ask you about your educational complexes.
Oh, like I was talking earlier about the spa, we have the Cayce A.R.E School of Massage. The school is very different, is that it is under Mr. Riley and Edgar Cayce. So there's this fusion of osteopathy and of Cayce's knowledge of basically medium health. And so it's this fusion of the two. The modalities are strong. They're learning the holistic in its fullest sense. So it is, before you touch, create no harm. It is bringing spirit into the awareness. And then the mental, that there's really a balance we're doing. We're not trying to, people say this person is wrong or this person is broken. No one is broken. It's just an imbalance of what you know it to be, even if it doesn't look what we think of as normal. It's just an imbalance. And so it's kind of getting back to that unity and the unity of mind, body, and soul. And that's really what we're trying to do, and that we've done for years at the Cayce A.R.E School of Massage. Then we have Atlantic University, which is an online school, online graduate program in mindfulness studies. And the second is in transpersonal psychology, which is really looking at the self. And those are two graduate programs, master's degree programs.
So much.
There is so much. And one thing that we haven't touched on that I want to make sure we do before we go, the Edgar Cayce Foundation.
Yeah.
It is you have to make a reservation. But if you do, you have access to all kinds of artifacts and artwork that isn't available to the public for the most.
Correct. It's a tour. You have to request it. And it does take time because there's a clearance, and we want to make sure you can't go in there touching. We have white gloves. These are the original Cayce readings.
Wow.
We are looking at maybe changing how that moves because we want to make sure the more air it gets, duration happens. So, correct. So the Edgar Cayce Foundation is really what upholds the research, which is his readings. And we have some incredible art pieces from various artists who've done their work with their interpretation of Cayce or their inspiration under meditation. And so you can see some of their works.
We could talk to you forever. And I say that a lot, but truly, you have brought a wealth of change that has been so amazing to the organization. And we're looking forward to seeing the space grow and become more rewarding as time goes by. So if someone wanted to become a member or find out more information about the A.R.E, what's the best place to go?
If they're not here yet, you can go right online. It says membership. They can also call. Our member services department can take their information. We process things on the phone. If you call, we will support you. And that's why we're member services. So we hope that you do join us. We hope that you do choose to be a part of this community. I think they'll be glad they did.
But the first step, just come.
Just come.
Just come visit. Experience it for yourself.
And even if you can't come to one of the programs that we do hybrid. You just don't have to be here at the conference. We would love to have you. It's an incredible community. But we do hybrid programs, so you will find you could do it here, or you could be in the comfort of your home and still do a program. I just want to do a plug. Please come to edgarcayce.org/event. And our yearly thing is we're also going through new branding, so you'll get to see that. It's just a new website, just a freshening up, but people, just come. Just come whichever way you can.
And come to the spa.
Definitely come to the
Because that's where I'll be.
We do couples massage too, just in case.
See? There you go. And then we can eat after.
I'm good with that. I'm okay. I'm here for it.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Charles. This has
Thank
just been
you.
a wonderful conversation. I can't wait to kind of really get out there and explore the ARE a little bit more.
Thank you.
So we had a great time. And thank you all for joining us on this adventure towards new awakenings with Edgar Cayce's ARE. We'll see you next time.